Former U.S. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice appears to be once again raising her foreign policy profile after delivering a wide-ranging speech at the Global Financial Leadership Conference. The bottom line of her keynote address at the Florida gathering was that American leaders don't have the luxury of waiting to fix economic problems like the national debt, immigration system, and underfunded entitlements. She also expressed hopes that leaders in Washington will get together to find solutions, warning that the country can't lead the world if its own fiscal house isn't in order. Her admonitions in regard to clearing up monetary issues really hit home with many internet users in China, which is one of the primary creditors of the U.S. And here's what many of them had to say.
I think what she says is an objective fact. Until now, the U.S. hasn't faced any real threat. Of course, this is the truth. If we aren't willing to lend them money, how can they get rid of the economic crisis?
As far as what American lawmakers need to do to accomplish their task, Rice said the first step should be holding meaningful talks about the looming fiscal cliff, the dramatic term for budget cuts which will automatically go into effect if Democrats and Republicans don't reach a deal by the end of this year. She says entitlements, as the majority of politicians have long been calling programs like Medicare and Social Security, even though they're largely funded through taxpayer dollars, will cause another crisis down the road if not reformed in the near future. The country's top diplomat under former President George W. Bush added that she doesn't think defensive expenditures should be off the table, but cautioned that a complete overhaul of the taxation system would be more effective than simply raising rates on the wealthy, as current Chief Executive Barack Obama is proposing. Rice also advocates for greater commercial involvement in frontier markets like Indonesia and the African continent. Now, these ideas attracted some attention on Weibo as well, and here's what many Weibo users had to say about it.
In my opinion, the subtext behind her speech is let China continue to support us. Since the world can't develop without China's support, of course the U.S. wants the benefit as well. Of course the U.S. needs China's support, but what actions will they take toward us? On the one hand, they suppress China's exports to the U.S., and on the other hand, they just increase their exports to China. At the same time, they're never willing to provide us with what we really need. So is that some kind of comfort to China? What I care more about is the current situation China faces. On the one hand, low-end, labor-intensive industries are leaving China, even if we still need time to solve the problems of technological and industrial upgrades. But on the other hand, the current external environment is not completely peaceful, which gives us more challenges.
Since leaving the State Department in early 2009, Rice has been a faculty member at Stanford University. Now, she was previously the provost of the California School from 1993 through 1999, and Bush recruited her to serve as National Security Advisor from 2001 through 2005 before moving to Foggy Bottom for the next 4 years. Now, Rice famously helped prepare a presidential daily brief for her boss containing the title "Bin Laden Determined to Strike in U.S." on August 6 of 2001. But no major preventative measures were put into place over the next month and 5 days. Then, as we all know too well, the world changed forever on 9/11, and she emerged as a strong political supporter of Bush's policies for the remainder of his administration, especially the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. A 2005 profile in Forbes magazine referred to her as a warrior princess due to her strong will and gentle manner. While her academic specialty was Russian affairs, Rice quickly became immersed in Sino-American relations during her time in Washington. Now, she made multiple trips to Beijing and other Asian capitals and openly criticized China on numerous topics, including military strategy, currency exchange rates, human rights, and internet regulations. During the recent speech, she argued that Washington has no current agenda in the global marketplace, as only 3 free trade agreements have been signed in the last 4 years, all under Bush at the tail end of his tenure, but none under Obama. Now, Rice added that China has a thriving commercial scheme with 15 deals ratified and 18 more in the process of being negotiated. She stressed that the right kind of bilateral ties are critical as well. Her notion is that the U.S. potentially treating Asia as a military challenge will only deepen lingering suspicions on the Chinese side. most likely leading to an escalated arms race and less security for the entire continent. She said the right approach to pursue is an economic vision and concluded that America's aims in the area need to be recast. A number of commenters have been showing solidarity with her viewpoint on this assessment, and here's what they had to say.
Don't take her words too seriously. Although the world's economy has indeed become more and more connected, the recovery of the economy should still depend more on their own hard work rather than outside help. I want to understand why people always like to find opponents rather than partners. As far as I can tell, having a partner is obviously better than having an opponent.
Other subjects Rice touched upon during her address at the GFLC were education, immigration, and the next occupant of her former office. Her successor, Hillary Clinton, has already said that she won't serve another 4 years, but is remaining in place until Obama chooses a replacement. Rice told the Naples Daily News that the most important asset for any Secretary of State is his or her relationship with the president, adding that the commander-in-chief must have complete confidence in the individual. She also claimed to have no intentions to campaign for the White House in 2016, despite many conservative groups urging her to run.